It's unbreakable, unbreakable, unbreakable.
Thank you so much. My name is Ruby Amonfu. We are so honored to be here for the 2015 Cadillac Escalade reveal. This song is called
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Vice President, Global Cadillac, Bob Ferguson.
Good evening. Welcome. So glad to have you here. On behalf of everyone at Cadillac, it's my pleasure to welcome each of you to the world premiere of the 2015 Cadillac Escalade. Thanks for joining us. And thank you to Ruby. What a great band. Did you enjoy that music? I didn't want to stop. I thought that was terrific. So how's this for a factoid? Cadillac, at 111 years old, is the fastest growing luxury brand in the business. Yeah. You know, I think there are a lot of reasons for this, but what's really important from our perspective is that we maintain that growth because we have very ambitious goals, both here in the States and in the growing luxury markets around the world. The primary enabler of that is what? The primary enabler is product. Tonight we're going to focus on one product in particular, the brand new Escalade, and its role in helping us increase Cadillac momentum. Tonight we're going to tell the story of the reinvention of this celebrated Cadillac nameplate at the collection of what I believe to be the finest artisans, designers, engineers, and technologists at work in the automobile industry today. In so many ways, and appropriately so, this evening is about them. Cadillac today, despite more than a century in business, I think it feels like a startup. Everything feels new and exciting. And nowhere is that sensibility more evident than within the walls of the Cadillac Design Studio. You know, the studio is about 30 minutes down the road from my downtown office in Detroit, and I get out there just as often as I can. Since joining Cadillac about a year ago, many of my best days in the company have been spent with designers. The Cadillac Studio is vibrant, youthful, diverse, and a really creative place, a place of positive energy. And you know, there are more Cadillacs and Cadillac concepts in development today than at any time in our brand's history. And that's heartening. That's a heartening reality, because if you follow the arc of Cadillac's evolution, it's obvious that Cadillac is at its best when we allow our design team to be the engine that drives us. ATS, XTS, the new CTS, the all-new ELR, and the El Mirage concept. They've all debuted in the last year, and they are so sophisticated. They are sophisticated designs that expand and that I think elevate Cadillac. Quite simply, they're the reason for our growth. And they exist because of the incredible work being done by the men and women of the Cadillac Design Studio. They've applied that passion to the creation of the next generation Cadillac Escalade. As you can see throughout the space tonight, we're telling that story through photography, and not just any photographs. These are the work of the renowned Autumn DeWilde, who is one of the most talented photographers in business today. And Autumn has photographed some of the most respected artists in the world of entertainment, music, and fashion. She's a storyteller, plain and simple, and her favorite subjects are artists at work. So we invited Autumn to turn her lens not just on the Escalade, but on the artists who make the Cadillac Studio one of the most prolific design studios in the industry. These are the designers, the sculptors, and the fabricators who convert data into art and who work closely with their partners in engineering and manufacturing as they bring a vehicle to life. But their talents and through their passion, I think they've invented a Cadillac icon. How do you quantify that passion? Well, more than 100 people contributed to Escalade designs. There are 6 stitches for every inch of hand-sewn interior surface. 3 different species of wood are used, 1 for each Escalade interior environment. The result is an interior that is beautifully layered and that will continually reveal new dimensions in different light and in different angles. You know, there's a complexity at work here, not the bad kind, the good kind, the kind we celebrate in wine and fine cigars. I think Autumn has done an amazing job of bringing these personalities to life, as you can see throughout the gallery wall that's just to my right. And I'm very pleased to be able to acknowledge Autumn here with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Autumn DeWilde. Thanks for your great work. Autumn's time in the Cadillac studio also inspired a portrait studio series featuring the 2015 Escalade. And we documented her journey with Cadillac in the creation of her Escalade portrait series in the short film that I'd like to share with you now.
I started out shooting bands, and I always remember how the photos came out when I was a fan of something, and when I was in love with someone or in love with what they did. By searching for that feeling, I think I then discover the photo.
Awesome. Good. And then lower your head a little more.
Part of my approach is immersing myself in the subject. Goes from man to machine, and then machine to man.
There's no process that can replicate the hand stitching.
Sculptors and designers, they have a real passion for what they're doing. It's just a remarkable thing to see something handcrafted come to life.
These are all custom made too?
Yes, they're all custom made.
They're so beautiful. It's incredible that you can get the wood to move like that.
Sometimes I'm a literal storyteller, and sometimes I'm creating an abstract universe for someone to write their own story inside of.
I created a sculptural piece that was inspired by the reflections and the jewelry that I saw within the headlamps. It was an abstract symbol that would make someone come back to the photo and look closer at the car.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 Cadillac Escalade. I'm joined tonight by three of the gentlemen most responsible for this beautiful vehicle. And appropriately so, we're beginning with the Vice President of Design of GM, Ed Welburn. Welcome, Ed.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, everyone.
You know,
good to be here.
I think Ed is a corporate treasure. In my opinion, he's the best design leader in the business. He's a great friend of Cadillac, and we're so lucky to have him with us on the Cadillac team. I know you spent a little time with Autumn in the Cadillac Design Studio. What did you think of the process she went through, and what do you think of her images?
Well, it was great, and the thing that was so fascinating, I love the way she captured the real human side of the design team. You know, the passion and the creativity that everyone puts into the work that they are doing, the real craftsmanship that is a part of developing a vehicle like this. We had great craftsmanship in Cadillacs back in the 1930s and 40s, and we've brought that back. But we've done it in a very contemporary way, and Autumn captured it. I really love the work that she did.
I know you start every workday not in a stuffy office, but you go down and you have coffee with the folks who really make stuff work. You go down and have coffee with the craftsmen. What do you think of the portraits that she came out with, and what do you think the people who work for you will think about this?
Well, I just love the way she captured that, because it's a great team. And yeah, I prefer starting my day down in the shops with some of the folks in the wood shop or the people working with the leather goods and all of that. That's where I start my day. And then I'm off to the boardrooms and the design studios and all that. She really captured the passion that they have for the work that they do.
You know, Ed looks very young. I mean, it'll surprise you to know he's been with General Motors for 40 years. And when he started actually crafting some of this, and our favorite picture is the one that's right around the corner there, and it's a picture of the tools. And Ed, earlier today, you told me you still have the tools that you used early in your career.
Yeah, when I started at GM, actually as a summer intern, I was a sculptor, and I kept my tools. You know, they were very important to, I may need them again, who knows?
I don't think so. Ed, what do you think what do you think the Escalade has meant for Cadillac?
Well, the Escalade is that iconic vehicle. It's bigger than life. It has this dramatic presence when you see it. And if you see more than one, you know there must be a very special event going on there. Yeah. It has got that kind of presence. And with this new generation, we have certainly, I think, raised the bar in execution and refinement in that design.
You know, one of the things I like about going to the Cadillac studio is that it's never boring. It's a place of great creativity. And often I go there and I'm surprised by what they're working on or what they do. Do your designers ever surprise you?
Do they ever surprise me? First off, you know, even though I've been there for over 40 years, every time I walk into that Cadillac studio, it's like it's the first time I've ever been there. It is that special. It's that creative. And I'm always surprised with what I see. And the biggest thing I can do as the leader of the design organization is to create an environment in which people feel comfortable to come forward with their great ideas, and they just feel free to create.
When they created this vehicle, what was the goal? What did you want to accomplish with the new design of the Escalade?
Well, with every great design, it needs to begin with establishing great proportions. And that takes great collaboration between design and engineering to achieve that. And once you have the proportions, the stance, the relationship of the tires to the body, the upper to the lower, then you really have something you can work with. With the new Escalade, there's a much more refined body size shape, the subtle surface undulation, which I absolutely love. And of course, the front of the car, the face is everything when it comes to Escalade. And that shield grille, central grille, framed by the very strong vertical headlamps, are a big part of the design. And I love the layers of detailing that the designers put into this grille and the technology that's in the lamps as well.
I think one of the other things that you thought about was you wanted easier access in and out of the Escalade, and you accomplished that.
I think day one on this project, I said, we have got to improve entry and egress to that second row. We've got to make it easier to swing your foot in there. And I wanted a minimum of 2 inches of improvement in that area, and the team achieved it. They came through with that, and I'm very happy with that. Along the way, we've designed a very elegant, very refined interior, great leathers and suedes and woods throughout the interior.
Ed, congratulations on a wonderful vehicle. Job well done.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So we've covered the art half of the conversation, but of course the new Escalade is instilled with the very latest in technology. Please welcome Cadillac's Executive Chief Engineer Dave Leone and Escalade Executive Chief Engineer Jeff Luke. Welcome, fellas.
Thanks, Bob.
Dave, what's the role of the chief engineer, and how do you bring engineering and performance to bear on a program like the Escalade?
Well, the biggest part of my job is to work with Ed and his team at design and Jeff and the Escalade team, and to make sure that the Cadillac customer voice is heard throughout the process. But more specifically, my job is to make sure that we drive consistency in the way we execute the car from the way the technology is presented to the customer. Whether we're talking about Cadillac Q, or we're talking about heads-up display, or forward parking assistance, we want to make sure that it's the same for each and every one of the Cadillacs. And that's especially important when you're trying to build a brand like Cadillac, where with every new vehicle, especially the Escalade, this is a vehicle that spells Cadillac to the marketplace. And so we want to make sure that's done right, and it's done in a Cadillac fashion.
So Escalade is so important to the Cadillac brand. Jeff, what did you bring to this project, and how important was performance in the equation?
Well, you know, Cadillac is the standard of the world, and we wanted this Escalade to raise the bar in sophistication and refinement. And we had the opportunity to do a full clean sheet here where we can take this truck to the next level. Now, Ed has already touched on the great levels of new interior refinement and comfort and sophistication. But we've also made the new Escalade more comfortable, easier to live with, and much more enjoyable. For example, we've improved the second row entry and egress, as Ed said. And of course, one of the biggest changes in the new interior is the push button, fold flat, second and third row seats. We really think that these features are going to be tremendously accepted by our customers, Bob, and we're so excited to offer.
You know, many folks who drive the Escalade consider that to be almost like akin to their home interior. They want that comfort zone within the interior. So how did you go about that challenge, and I feel confident that you achieved the challenge? Well,
you know, one of the things that goes with ultimate refinement is the feeling that the vehicle is really quiet. And what we wanted to do was essentially have each customer feel as though it's sanctuary quiet is how we look at this. And it starts from the frame of the vehicle. It's a fully boxed frame that has stiffness and drives structural integrity to the body. It's made it much more controlled and refined, and to couple that with the electric power steering and enhancements we've made to the brakes on the truck, it's just an absolutely beautiful experience. We're so excited.
It wouldn't be an Escalade if it didn't have strong performance. Everybody wants performance out of Escalade. I mean, think about the Escalade name, what it means: overcome obstacles, scale heights. So, Dave, as you work through it, you put a lot of performance behind this vehicle.
We did. First of all, it's a Cadillac, and we spared nothing. We put everything we had from technology into this vehicle. And then when the performance really starts out with our new 6.2-liter high-feature V8 engine at 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. That's another 17 horsepower, another 43 pounds of torque over the previous model. And then we couple that with the efficiency that we have with variable valve timing and active fuel management, which means that the vehicle can run on 4 cylinders or 8 cylinders based on the demand. And with that increased torque, we can stay in 4-cylinder mode longer without having to jump to 8, and that means more fuel efficiency. And we expect to add a couple miles per gallon for both city and highway with that achievement. And then last, this is a Cadillac, this is the Escalade, So we've made magnetic ride control, the fastest acting suspension system in the business, standard on the new Escalade. In fact, the system works so fast that driving down the road at 60 miles an hour, it measures the road at every 1 inch traveled. And it can adjust from full soft to full firm in just over 3 inches of road traveled. So think about how fast that is. That's what this vehicle's got, and it is the fastest in the business.
So let me get this right. You put greater performance in it and greater efficiency.
We did.
Absolutely great.
We did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Bob.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Job well done.
Thank you.
So I think the team has achieved something pretty remarkable. You've created a totally new vehicle that is also unmistakably an Escalade. Thanks to each of you and to your teams, and thanks for taking part in the event tonight. As I said at the top, Cadillac's growing, and we have a plan to sustain that momentum into 2014 and way beyond, here in the U.S. and throughout the world. Escalade's role in the grand plan is to recapture prominence in the segment that Escalade created. And we think this fourth generation advances the formula for which Escalade is known. It has bold design. It has presence, power, capability, seating up to 8. It's one of those special vehicles deserving of an equally special name. You know, sometimes there's nothing like a good proper noun. No LMNOP for this vehicle. It's an Escalade. Clearly, we have high expectations for this vehicle, which goes into production in the first quarter of next year. As important as Escalade is to Cadillac, it's important to remember that it's just one member of the most diversified product portfolio that I think Cadillac has ever offered. In fact, it's just one of 3 launches we're undertaking in a 6-month period. The 2014 CTS is now on sale, offering the highest levels of style, sophistication, and performance. Great technology, the greatest technology in the history of the CTS nameplate. And Cadillac ELR, the first vehicle of its kind in the industry, stands ready to electrify the luxury coupe market on January 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for being with us tonight. Why don't you come on up here and get a closer look at the Escalade.